Now let's talk about some of the examples of foundation models. So the first one was BERT. BERT was released in 2018. It is bidirectional encoder representations from transformers, and this was one of the first foundation models. And BERT is a bidirectional model that analyzes the context of a complete sequence, right? So it can analyze the complete sequence and then it will make the prediction. And it was trained on a plain text corpus and Wikipedia using 3.3 billion tokens, right? And 340 million parameters. And what are some of the applications of BERT? It can answer questions, predict sentences, and it can translate text, right? And the next one was GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer, and this was developed by OpenAI in 2018, and it uses 12-layer transformer decoder. Remember, all the GPT models are decoder based models with a self-attention mechanism, and it was trained on the book corpus dataset, and which holds over 11,000 free novels. And a notable feature of GPT-1 is the ability to do zero-shot learning. That means this zero-shot learning, GSL, is a machine learning classification technique, and it can classify objects from previously unseen classes as well without even receiving any specific training for those unseen classes, right? And GPT-2 was released in 2019, and OpenAI trained it using 1.5 billion parameters, whereas GPT-1 was trained on 117 million parameters and GPT-2 was trained on 1.5 billion parameters. And GPT-3 has a 96 layer neural network and 175 billion parameters and is trained using 500 billion word common crawl dataset. And the popular ChatGPT chatbot is based on GPT 3.5. And GPT-4, this is the latest version, launched in late 2022 and successfully passed the uniform bar examination with a score of 297, right? That is 76%. Okay, so that's about GPT. And the next one is Jurassic, right? This was released in 2021, Jurassic 1. It is a 76 layer autoregressive. You know, autoregressive means a decoder, that is the output of the first one will be passed again to the next one, right? So that is the decoder language model with 178 billion parameters. And Jurassic 1 generates human-like text and solves complex tasks, and it can perform as equivalent to GPT-3 as well. And in March 2023, AI21 Labs, they've released another version, Jurassic 2, which has improved instruction following and language capabilities. So that's about Jurassic 1 and 2. And the next one is Claude. So Claude 2 is Anthropic's state-of-the-art model that excels at thoughtful dialogue, content creation, complex reasoning, right? So this is one of the reasoning model, and creativity and coding. You can use it for coding as a programmer, and it is built with constitutional AI. And Claude 2 can take up to 1 lakh tokens in each prompt. That means it can take over hundreds of pages of text, that is even the entire book as well, right? And Claude 2 can also write longer documents like memos and stories on the order of a few thousand tokens compared to its previous version, right? So this is a reasoning model, and you can also use as a programmer as well because it can generate code, right? And the next foundation model is Cohere, and Cohere has two LLMs. One is generation model with similar capabilities as GPT-3, and the other one is a representation model. This is intended for understanding languages, right? While Cohere has only 52 billion parameters, but it can outperform GPT-3 in many aspects, and you can explore more. And the next foundation model is Stable Diffusion, right? It is a text to image model that can generate realistic looking high definition images, right? So many people use this Stable Diffusion to generate high quality images, and it was released in 2022 and has a diffusion model that uses noising and denoising technologies to learn how to create images. The model is smaller than competing diffusion technologies like DALL 2, which means it doesn't need an extensive computing infrastructure, right? Because it is a small model and it doesn't need high computing power. And Stable Diffusion will run on a normal graphics card or even a smartphone, right? So that's about Stable Diffusion. And the next foundation model is CLIP, that is contrastive language image pre-training. So in 2021, a multimodal vision and language, right? So this is a multimodal. Clip became popular for its ability to effectively perform tasks it had not been explicitly trained to handle, right? So if you see here, this model was trained on 400 million image text pairs, right? So they have passed both image and text with the motive of learning how to connect language and images. So by using this clip model, you can connect language and images, and it utilized an objective of contrastive learning to learn language guided image representations, and has now found many applications in image retrieval and image text matching tasks, right? So you can see here image encoder. So this is a corgi playing a flame throwing trumpet, right? So that's about clip foundation model. And the next foundation model is Bloom. It is a multilingual, right? It is a multilingual model with similar architecture to GPT-3, and it was developed in 2022. If you're trying to solve the problem of multilingual, then you go for Bloom. And this model has 176 billion parameters, and they trained in 3.5 months using 384 NVIDIA A100 GPUs. And although Bloom checkpoint requires 330 GB of storage, it will run on a standalone PC as well. If you have 16 GB RAM and you have good storage, you can use Bloom. And Bloom can create text in 46 languages, right? And can write code in 13 programming languages. So if you're trying to solve a problem that involves multiple languages, then you can go for Bloom. And the next one is Hugging Face. So this is one of the famous one. This is a platform that offers open source tools, right? So this is free, and you can build and deploy machine learning models by using Hugging Face, and it acts as a community hub, and developers can share and explore models and datasets, right? So you can also build a model and you can share it here, and datasets as well. Membership for individuals is free, that is, it is a open source. Although paid subscriptions offer higher levels of access, you have public access to nearly 2 lakh models, right, and 30,000 datasets. And we will deep dive Hugging Face in the coming lectures, right? And the next foundation models are DeepSeek and Grok. DeepSeek's aim is to achieve artificial general intelligence, right? And the company's advancements in reasoning capabilities represent significant progress in AI development. So DeepSeek is one of the reasoning model, right? And the next one is Grok. You know, this is by Elon Musk. It is a generative artificial intelligence chatbot developed by XAI, and this is based on the large language model of the same name. It was launched in 2023 as an initiative by Elon Musk, right? So we learned different foundation models. For example, the first one was BERT, GPT, and this is Jurassic 1 and 2, and this is Claude and Cohere, Stable Diffusion, Clip, Bloom, Hugging Face, DeepSeek, and Grok, right? So these are some of the popular examples of foundation models. All right. Thank you.